Good morning, everyone. My name is Megan Langpap, and I'm the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo's Information Officer at the Regional Emergency Coordination Center. Welcome to our 11 a.m. public update on MWF-017 for Wednesday, May 15th. During this update, we will hear from Mayor Sandy Bowman, the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo's Director of Emergency Management, Fire Chief Jody Butz, and Alberta Wildfire Information Officer Josee St-Onge. And with that, let's hear from Josee.
Thank you, Megan. MWF-017 is classified as out of control at 20,940 hectares. The wildfire grew significantly to the northeast yesterday, driven by gusty winds. The closest point of the fire is about 5.5 kilometers from the Fort McMurray landfill and 4.5 kilometers from the intersection of Highway 63 and 881. We've conducted a scan of the fire early this morning and will update these distances if more accurate information comes in. The size of the fire may also change based on this scan. 3 night vision helicopters worked overnight to drop water on the fire's active edges, and firefighters patrolled from the highway to monitor fire activity. Heavy equipment operators also worked throughout the night to build a fire guard to the southwest of Fort McMurray. Less than 1 millimeter of rain fell on the wildfire overnight. Active fire behavior is expected today, but should be less than yesterday, thanks to cooler temperatures and weaker winds. Winds from the northwest at 10 kilometers an hour are expected today, which should push the fire away from Fort McMurray and Highway 63. The change in the weather gives firefighters a good window to make progress, but there's still a lot of work to be done to contain this wildfire. We are still expecting high fire activity today. Firefighters will be back on the fire line today and will work to establish a containment line. Helicopters and air tankers will continue to drop water and retardant on the active edges of this fire. Heavy equipment operators will build fire guards to the southwest of Fort McMurray. There are 117 firefighters and 21 helicopters currently assigned to this wildfire. Additional heavy equipment operators have arrived and will help build fire guards and containment lines in strategic areas. Alberta Wildfire and the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo have entered into unified command. That means we'll be working together to manage this wildfire. Lastly, I'd like to remind everyone of the importance of preventing new wildfires at this time. We'll be putting in a fire ban and off-highway vehicle restriction in place this afternoon. This means that campfires will not be allowed on public or private land. Off-highway vehicle use will not be permitted on public land, including designated trails. We need everyone to do their part to prevent new wildfires. We want our firefighters to focus on controlling this wildfire and not responding to new ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Josee, and good morning, everyone. I'm Jody Butz, Regional Fire Chief and Director of Emergency Management here in Wood Buffalo, Fort McMurray. This morning, we met with Alberta Wildfire for a briefing on yesterday's fire activity, and we will continue to work closely with them under unified command for the duration of this incident. I want to take a moment to thank all of our firefighters and the personnel on the fire. Whether it's supporting aerial suppression efforts, the sprinkler setups that are happening in our neighborhoods, or building fire guards with heavy equipment, I want to say thank you to all of you. Work continues overnight directly on the fire, but also in the evacuated neighborhoods. Ground-applied fire retardant lines were laid down in key areas. Sprinklers have been installed in Beacon Hill and Prairie Creek so far, and many firefighters were deployed to neighborhoods to aid in those preparations. All of these efforts ensure our preparedness and defenses are at an elevated level. I also want to thank the community for yesterday's safely evacuating. Approximately 6,600 people were evacuated under orders yesterday. As of 1:30 this morning, we have had an approximately 650 people register in the in-person reception centers in Lac La Biche, Cold Lake, and Edmonton. We know that many of the people in the region who were not under an evacuation order also chose to leave yesterday. And that's a personal choice and one that I completely understand. If you left Fort McMurray yesterday, not as a part of the evacuation order, you are welcome to come home and you are welcome to feel safe being home. The highway is open in both directions and the traffic is flowing freely. Businesses and day-to-day operations continue for many parts of the region. Other areas remain under an alert, but please know that we're monitoring the situation closely and we have confidence in the safety of these areas. We know that at this point, many people who have evacuated under an order are already starting to ask questions about when they might be able to return. And I can only say this in the simplest way: not until it's safe to return to these neighborhoods. It must be safe. We understand that many of you are seeking clarity and the ability to make plans. So if you are currently under an evacuation order, please prepare to remain evacuated until at least Tuesday, May 21st. This does not guarantee that you will return on that date, but we want to advise you to plan to be evacuated until then. There are a number of criteria with the wildfire that must be met in order to lift that evacuation order. And Alberta Wildfire will provide those criteria to us. Typically, in this decision centers on the containment of the fire, but every fire situation is unique. When it's safe to do so, we'll lift the evacuation order for Prairie Creek, Abasang, Gregoire, and Grayling Terrace. In addition to the announcement from the provincial government today, the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo will also be implementing a full fire ban for Fort McMurray. This includes the use of outdoor fire pits, and this will become in effect today. We understand that your information needs to be high right now, and we're committed to regular daily updates for all of our residents who have been evacuated. And for the rest of the region, please be sure to follow trusted sources of information such as rmwb.ca, Alberta Wildfire, and also the media. Thank you, and I'm going to pass it over to Mayor Bowman.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to say something to all those that are evacuated. I know this is a stressful and uncertain time, but I want you to know that you are on our minds and we're thinking of you. We're doing everything possible to protect our community and get you back home safely. Stay safe, stay strong, and continue to be there for each other. This is a challenging time, but one thing I can say is the strong support we are getting from the government of Alberta. Premier Smith and her team, and of course, Minister Jean and MLA Yao, we've been in constant contact until the late hours of the evening, and they've made this the top priority in the province. Thank you for that. To incredible emergency responders with Alberta Wildfire and our own regional emergency services, and all those that have stepped up, from industry to local businesses, Indigenous leaders and social profits, RCMP and bylaw, and all law enforcement. There's no stronger community than ours. And it's great to see everyone working together to do what's best for this community. Finally, communication and connecting with community members is a major focus. We know it's important to you. Please follow and get your information from official sources like Alberta Wildfire and the municipality. We are committed to regular updates, and we won't stop working until everyone is back home safely. Thank you for staying safe. Thank you for taking care of each other. And I look forward to seeing you all back home when this is over. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Bowman, and thank you, Chief Butz and Josee. As a reminder, those websites are rmwb.ca/alerts and then the Alberta Wildfire app. I also wanted to clarify that the order is only in place for Beacon Hill, Abasang, Prairie Creek, and Grayling, and all of that information can be found on our website. Thank you so much, and we will be back again tomorrow.